All right, so here is some extra practice on the u substitution stuff. So these look like quadratics, but they're not quadratics because they're 4th degree, 2nd degree, and then 0 degree. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to set x squared equal to u. And then what we can say is that this would be the same thing as u squared plus u minus 6 equals 0. Because x squared squared is x to the 4th. U is just replacing x squared. Now this is a quadratic, and we know how to work with quadratics. So the cool thing here is if we use u substitution, these are now easily factorable. U times u will give us u squared. Now our last times our last has to multiply to negative 6. But when we do our outside inside, it has to add to u, to 1u. So we have a positive 3 and a negative 2. Our last would be negative 6. Outside's negative 2u, inside is 3u, which does get you to u. So now that it's in factored form, we set each of the factors equal to 0. U plus 3 equals 0, or u minus 2 equals 0. You solve, you get u is negative 3, or u is positive 2. Now the problem is we weren't looking for u, we were looking for x squared. So now that we have u, we can replace x squared because x squared is u. From there, we can square root both sides. Now this is the part that is tricky because a lot of times people will tell me that x is equal to the square root of negative 3 or x is equal to the square root of 2, and they want to say they're done. There's a couple things wrong with this right now. The first one being you can't have a negative underneath the radical. The second one being you would only have 2 solutions, and you're supposed to have 4 solutions. And since you need 4 solutions, you have to remember that if you square root an equation, you actually have to think of the positive and negative version of your answer. So we have to make sure we put in the plus or minus. So x equals positive or negative, change this to I square root of 3, or x equals positive or negative square root of 2. Now these are 2 answers here, and there are 2 answers here because we have positive and negative of both those answers. We have 4 solutions here, which is exactly what we were looking for. Let's try the next one. Again, you want to make sure that you say that x squared is going to be u. This is going to be u squared minus 10u plus 21 equals 0. U squared is x squared squared, which is x to the 4th. 10x squared is the same as 10u. You just replace the x squared with u. Now this you can factor. It's just a quadratic. U and u. U times u is u squared. Your last times your last has to multiply to 21. You know both of them have to be negative because they're going to add to a negative. 7 and 3 multiply to 21, add to negative 10. So we're good there. FOIL it. It works out. Set each of your factors equal to 0. We're going to get that u is 7 or u is 3. But we're not looking for u. So once you have u, you change it back to x squared is then 7, or x squared is 3. Square root both sides. And we're going to get that x is equal to positive or negative square root of 7, or x is equal to positive or negative square root of 3. Remember, we need 4 solutions, which we have within those 2 written out answers, because you have the positive square root of 7, negative square root of 7, positive square root of 3, and negative square root of 3. And that should help you with numbers 7 through 12 on your assignment.